Do you ever dream of having one of those beautiful homes that you always see on Instagram? All of these mompreneurs have these perfect homes and these children running around, and you go, how in the world do they do it? I know my house isn't like that, but I do dream about having a home like that. And today's guest is Catherine, who is a local mompreneur and a fantastic and wonderful interior designer and stager. My name is Olivia McNally. I am your Bay Area mompreneur and real estate guru. And I am so excited to have our guest on today. Catherine, talk to us, girl. It's been a while. I am so excited to have you on our show.
And, something had to give. So when I was pregnant with my second child, my daughter, I made the decision to leave. And I just really felt this pull, like something. I'm very spiritual, I believe in energy and manifestations. And I just truly felt that period of my life had come to an end. I'd given what I was meant to give. And now it was time to figure out something new. And I did the stay-at-home mom thing for a couple years, which was brutal. I thought that was going to be easier. It definitely was not. But I think I needed to do that to really push me to think about, what do I want? What does Catherine really want her life to look like, and what's important to me? And one of the things is I've always been passionate about fashion. I've always had this need to express creativity inside me. And if I'm not doing it, it's like I have this anxiety, I have this pent up frustration that needs to come out. And I started kind of finding peace in my own home, in, doing all these DIY projects, or deciding to paint, my kid's room a new color, and then start putting together designs. And at one point I just realized, oh my gosh, my lifelong obsession with fashion rolls right into interior design seamlessly. Just, the same thing, working with colors and textures and patterns and all those things that, just really inspire me. So I just thought, you know what? Here I am. I'm, in my 30s. I have 2 kids. I worked so many years in one career, and now I'm at a point where I'm just going to start all over. I don't know how. I really didn't know how it was going to be, but I just kept putting it out there to the universe. I feel this calling to get into the design world in some way, somehow. I'm going to make it happen. And lo and behold, a friend of mine found out about a startup in the interior decorating space that specifically was looking to hire people who were not formally trained, because they believed that the design world, there's kind of a stigma there, that it's only for someone with a very large budget, that has a certain type of home that, requires that magazine look. And they wanted to change that perspective and make it approachable for everyone, whether you're, a college student and you just have an IKEA budget, but you still want your space to be inspiring and reflective of you and comfortable. So I fortunately applied to this company, Spoke, and was hired as one of their founding designers. And I just went all in, learning as I went. And that just kind of sparked me to go, oh my gosh, this is what I'm meant to do. So I did as much as I could, kind of part-time remote from home with them as my kids were getting older. Once my daughter turned 3 and was able to go to preschool full-time, it's like, now it's mama's time.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. It always takes that moment of realizing that at some point, us mompreneurs have to get our own life back, right? And so you go from school teacher teaching children to stay-at-home mom, which we both know is the hardest job in the world. I mean, our nanny was sick one day last week, and I was like, what in the world am I going to do, right? It is so incredibly hard. And then you kind of have your calling, and you are like, look, like, I've got to get me back. Where's Catherine's dreams? Right? Because we get so embedded into what our children need and what our children's dreams are and doing everything for our children. And we wake up one day and we realize, oh my God, I've been wearing leggings for 3 years and I haven't done anything for myself. Right? So it sounds like that's really kind of what happened for you. Is like you had this kind of rude awakening for yourself. And then all the stars started to align when you were accepted into the startup, which is so amazing. So fast forward, you are working at the startup and then...
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right, Olivia. And I just want to touch on one of the ahas I think I had, as you were saying, like being a mom, you know, just never doing anything with my hair every day, right? Like the class, I had every color hat, right? Ever my face, I had to see what was going on under there, all that. And it was a moment when I looked at my kids and I said, oh my goodness, as a parent, I'm modeling for them. You know, they're learning from me and they're learning what to be in their future. And if I don't model putting myself first and my needs and my dreams, then I'm doing them a disservice. So, yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. And you have a daughter and a son. So you're raising a little man to, you know, look at women as them being empowering and leaders as well in this world. And you're teaching a little girl to stand up for herself and to follow her dreams in life. And it's so important because these little children, they can just suck the life out of us so quickly when we allow it to happen. And you know me, Catherine, like I don't sugarcoat anything, right? Like, you know, I'm the person that if you're on the fence of having kids, you probably shouldn't talk to me because I'm going to scare the shit out of you, right? Because it's raw and real about how hard
that's
this
what I love about you. You know, like it's a serious thing bringing kids to the world, and it's no joke. And yeah, like I think
it is.
Too many of us are. Our version, you know, we see on TV, like this sweet little baby that never cries and they just go to sleep. And then you have your own and go, am I ever going to sleep again?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then you have social media, which has this other impact because social media shows all of these beautiful women. They have these babies. They have night nurses and day nannies, and so they're sleeping 8 to 10 hours a night like they normally would, and they have like a house full of help all the time. That's not the reality, right? So social media, once again, it shows all of the pretty stuff, and it really doesn't get raw and real as to how things really are, which is why I love this podcast so much because it really talks about all of the different mompreneurs. We are working moms in our own business. So this is not 9 to 5. And, you know, I'm not bashing the 9 to 5 mom. That's hard in itself. They have their own challenges, right? But we are 7 days a week, 24/7. My phone never stops. Right? Like I have to turn my phone on silent for it to stop. Whereas if I worked corporate, I'd be able to leave my phone and my laptop at work and go back next morning and not have to work on weekends. So when you figure out that you really wanted to take kind of your dreams and manifest them and create your own business, one, I want to hear, how did you come up with the name Pure Luxe? Because I love it. And after you tell me that, I want you to tell me any tips that you have for a mom such as myself that dreams about having the beautiful home with two crazy, obnoxious boys that break everything.
Oh, yeah, girl, I hear you there. Yeah, so, the name Pure Luxe, I definitely, at some point, I became obsessed on Instagram with following all kinds of other designers locally or nationally. And there was there's a company out of Newport Beach called Pure Salt. And I just was so drawn to that name, their vibe, their look, everything about them. And something about that word pure just really resonated with me, and it felt true to who I am and what I wanted to project. And the word luxe was just, kind of balanced that and the overall feel and look of what I want, aim to deliver with my designs. And of course I spoke to my, my energy healer who said, oh, those words, add up to the number 8, which is very, spiritually significant and successful and bringing money. Like, done. Okay.
Love it. Love it.
But, yeah, so that's, what inspired really the name. And to answer your question about, oh my gosh, yes, mothers wanting to have a beautiful home with young children, which I'm still there right with you, girl. What's amazing though is that what I love about what's happening in the design world now is that there are so many incredibly successful, talented designers that are now creating lines for stores like Target, for living spaces, for all these affordable brands that make it perfect for moms like us with young children, because we can get the look for a lot less. And because we only spent, less than $1,000 on the sofa. Okay, so Gatorade stains are going to happen. Marker, there's going to be rainbows colored all over it. And it's like, all right, well, I don't feel bad about, replacing that in 5 years. I know that washable rugs have been just, taken over and such a, where have these been all our lives, right? So that.
Yes. Oh my gosh. My Ruggable is my best friend. I love our Ruggables.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I mean, really, I remember that was one of the first things I purchased 11 years ago when we had moved into our new home is, I'd spent all this time trying to find the perfect rug. And before washable rugs existed. And I mean, I'm not kidding. I think it was 2 months in, my son spilled neon orange Pedialyte in the middle. And I'm like, oh, great, What?
Yep. Yeah, I have my rug stories too. Our lab ate half of my 100% wool rug that I spent a fortune on. And I think my son spilled something neon on it as well. And when I decided to get a quote on cleaning it, I realized that my cleaning fee was going to be more than I actually spent on the rug. And that was the moment that I realized very quickly, with a large dog, a toddler, I didn't even have my second child at the time. I was like, I absolutely need to find a solution here. And that's when Ruggables appeared. And I was like, I don't care how much it is. And those things are so durable. I mean, I should plug Ruggable here. Ruggable should be paying us for this ad right now. But I'm not joking you. It's like the best creation ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's those are my big things. I mean, I'm also a big fan of just going neutral with your key pieces, like a sofa, getting a durable fabric, being really particular. I mean, if you're looking to invest more, leather definitely can stand the test of time. If not, there's tons of other now stain resistant fabrics that work really well for having young children. But just go neutral and change the pillows. You can find fabulous pillows at Target, $20, $30. Have your, blue moment, and then you're over it in a year, and you can switch it up, and it's not going to cost you much. That's the beauty of it.
One of the things I learned very quickly too with that is that I always thought, oh, you have to buy the pillows. And then I started to buy pillows and change them out. And I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with all these pillows? Right. So then I figured it out. Like most people would be like, oh my God, Olivia, what a blonde moment. But no, I was like, no, you just make sure that you find the pillowcase that can go in the same pillow, right? So you're just changing out the cases, not the actual pillows.
Actually, right? I attended the National Staging Conference this summer in Las Vegas, and that was one of the best pieces of advice that I heard in the whole conference is just buy new covers. And I'm genius.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, oh my God, I have a whole storage full of these big old pillows, and I don't even need that anymore, which is awesome. So you're going to conferences. What else are you doing, Catherine, to stay up with all of the new design and, interior designing in the world? Because I mean, things are always changing. I mean, I am not one of those people by any means that is a fashionista. And so I really am not. Like, I hate shopping. It's like pulling teeth. It's like, I'd rather go to the dentist than go shopping, honestly. It took me 40 years to get my first designer handbag and to get my first designer belt. And it was because my family forced me. They gave it to me for my 40th birthday. They were like, you sell multi-million-dollar houses, you need to dress the part. And I'm like, my clients don't hire me for what I wear. They hire me because I'm giving them the best freaking service ever, right? But they're like, no, you got to dress the part, Olivia. You're 40 now. So how do you keep up in the design?
Yeah, so that's so funny. By the way, I have friends who, buy me lunch on the side so that I'll just take them shopping for the day. Either so let's get a lunch date on the calendar. I'm happy to do that for you.
That is awesome.
So, one of the best ways and it's most fun is actually in Las Vegas. In addition to the conference, what comes after the conference is there's the Las Vegas Furniture Market. And that's twice a year. And that is this set of enormous buildings, 50 floors each, and all of the amazing furniture makers in the world, frankly, not just the country, come there and showcase what's coming down the docket next. So it's pretty incredible, to go there. And not only do I set up wholesale accounts so that I can purchase for staging and for design clients, but it's really just to see what is the latest trends. What are we going to see? And usually what you see at market, it takes maybe 6 months or so to start seeing that happen in the stores. And it's a really fun way because, of course, the most talented people in the industry are setting up these incredible showrooms where I'm just like, can I just live here? But that's one of the number one ways I personally do. But truthfully, what I've always found, even when I'm just, in fashion, is just going out there and shopping. I'm constantly looking on my favorite sites like maybe Lulu in Georgia, or even just McGee & Co. with Target. I'm constantly going back to their site and seeing what's new, and then seeing, these neutral trends or these, light natural wood textures are really on the forefront for the fall. And of course, Instagram. I mean, Instagram is just incredible for that because within 5 minutes, I scroll and I see designers in New York, designers in Canada, all the California trends, what everyone's using, new and creative ways to do cool things with art or pillows. So I would say those are my key places I go to keep up on the trends.
That's awesome. Always staying ahead and at least 6 months ahead of the curveball, because that's really important, especially in the Bay Area when we're working with multi-million-dollar clients and we need to make sure that their homes are selling for the highest and best price. Or if you're doing some sort of design for a client and they want to know exactly what is coming down the line. So that's so great that you're just continuing that education. You've been in business for quite a while now for yourself. What are maybe one or two aha moments that you've had as a business owner, not even related to interior design, but as a business owner, talking to other women who maybe are itching to get out of their spandex leggings and into some real clothes to go work and start their own business because they're having that aha moment. What are some key valuable points that you have learned yourself?
Yeah, great question. I mean, there are so many things. I think some of the key takeaways I've learned is you cannot do it all yourself. As I would like to think I can and would like to try, that's where I find myself failing the fastest, and I learned to admit to myself what I don't know and outsource where possible. So that was the biggest thing I did. I'm a creative brain. Numbers, financials, it's not my strength. Right. So, and that's a pretty important piece of business. managing finances, all of that is crucial. And right away I said, nope, I am going to find, a local bookkeeper, local accountant, tax person. And fortunately, today with so many people going out there and, deciding to start their own business, there's a lot of amazing people you can contract out to, that want to help you grow and are affordable. And, I would say the other aha moments I've had is when, it's that classic saying, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Reach out to people who are already doing what you want to do. And you'd be surprised at how many people are so generous with their time and advice and are happy to help you. That was one of the first things I did, is when I knew that I wanted to start my own business and I was just overwhelmed with, okay, I've been working for a stager. I absorbed and learned everything, but it's a whole different thing, right? When you're about to step into that world alone. And I started following different people online and joining Facebook groups. And I just reached out to a couple of them and said, hey, I'm looking to start my own business. Would you be willing to take a phone call? And, a couple of them said, absolutely. Here's my number, and sat on the phone and answered every question I had. It's really a beautiful thing. And I think for us, as women right now, there's so many women, right, that are realizing, hey, things are shifting now. We have more options. We are capable of things. And women in particular want to help other women. And it's such an incredible, beautiful place to be.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I mean, and especially it's all women, but I think it's all, honestly, for me, what I have found over the last couple of years is that real connection with other mompreneurs, other women who are business owners, because they get it, right? They get it at a level that most people don't. I mean, I've talked about this a lot, but 3 years ago, when Lucas was about a year and a half old, and I realized I had that aha moment of all of my amazing girlfriends in my circle are so amazing, but they didn't understand me. they didn't get it, right? They didn't understand what it was like to have to go to work Saturday and Sunday, be on my computer at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, breastfeeding throughout the night while looking at 500-page disclosures, trying to keep my client from, jumping off a cliff because they're so nervous about the offer they're making, or my seller who, doesn't know left from right and needs all the help in the world. And it's like this juggle of 200 balls all the time. All while managing a household, having a husband, trying to keep our marriage alive, and then trying to find just one little second for myself, which is never there. And so when I realized that, I started reaching out on the local Facebook group for other mothers. And I was like, hey, is anybody else in this, in this ball game? Because I feel really alone here. And then lo and behold, we had this little kind of meet and greet and 15 women showed up. And that's where the San Mateo Mompreneur group was founded, because there was a bunch of like-minded women who got it. They were moms and they were business owners, and we were all just struggling together. And those core meetings at the beginning were just so emotional. I mean, we were sitting around tables with women breastfeeding and crying. And we had other women like, hey, look, I'm 3 years ahead or I'm 5 years ahead. I can tell you that it does get easier. It does get better. And you will have your time again, right? And all helping each other. But until you find that village, it is really, really hard. And so I love what you said is women who are thinking about it. Like I have women reaching out all the time about, hey, can I talk to you about real estate, right? And when we sit down and have coffee, I don't know how many people I scare away, but it really isn't intentional to scare them away. It's just me being brutally honest, right? Because this is not easy. I don't know half of the time where my next piece of business is coming from. And I'm 8 years in.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, and these are the raw, real truth of being a mompreneur and a business owner. And then when you're a sole provider of your house, like if you're a single parent and doing this, that's the other thing. And I didn't want to say anything unless you were okay talking about it. But I mean, Catherine, your story is amazing, right? Because you're a mom, but you're also doing this alone in the Bay Area.
I mean, I've had the most life-changing couple of years, and it all happened within the same month, as far as getting a divorce, losing my father, and starting my own business. It was a lot. But I think it's really...
Oh, you're going to make me cry.
It's been the most challenging time in my life, yet the most incredible and beautiful, because without that, I don't think it would have pushed me, to when you don't have a choice, when you're a single mom with 2 children living in the Bay Area, the most expensive place to live in the country, your back's against the wall and failure is not an option. And I think sometimes that's, happens on purpose, because it put the fire under me to just say, I don't have a choice but to hustle right now and make this a success. And
that's right.
What do? It's been challenging and amazing. There's ups and downs, and the downs can be pretty brutal, but you learn to sit in it. And every time you come out from one of those downs, I realize I end up further ahead than where I was before. And there's just tremendous growth. And it's a beautiful thing that comes from really tough situations.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're an inspiration to so many of us. And I feel so fortunate to be able to work with you and see your creative mind go to work in all of our beautiful, beautiful, and I feel so fortunate, our clients' homes that, we're able to transform. And when I walk into any of your projects, I'm always just so blown away. I mean, you just have such an eye for design and just such a personal touch too. You really do. It's just very, very different than a lot of staging that we see here.
Chill. That means the world to me, because I really try to, I do, like, I put my heart and soul into it, and I just love it so much. But you never know, design's so subjective. You often hear you hear the negative, right? That's just part of the client service industry, right? But I
absolutely
so appreciate your words. And, I'm so grateful to you, Olivia, too, because right off the get-go, when I was just starting out and trying to figure out, how do I get my name out there? How do I get these agents to take a chance on me? And you were one of the first people to take a call with me, sit down, and, give me a chance. And I'm forever grateful to you for that. You're nothing but just lovely to work with, which is very difficult in this industry. So,
well, thank you for that, Catherine. I mean, we all deserve chances, right? And I think the one thing that I would say to all women out there who maybe have picked up the phone and tried to reach out to other women to have those conversations, like you said you recommended, and didn't get past the initial, can I have a conversation? Pick up the phone and call one of us or call somebody else, because as many women that are amazing and want to help other women be successful, there's, I think, double the amount of women that aren't so amazing and are super jealous and won't take the time to help other women succeed, right? And so we see it clear across the board here, right? Not sugar, like being in the real estate industry, I've learned one big lesson in the 8 years, which is there is a very small amount of people that you can trust in this industry. And so, you keep your enemies close, right? You keep them close. But, at the end of the day, Catherine, you and I work so much alike. And when you did reach out, there was never even a hesitation. Of course, I wanted to sit down and hear what you had to say. And you were referred by somebody that I've grown up with, and it was a good friend. And she was adamant. She was like, if anybody's staging my home that you're selling, Olivia, it is Catherine, and you need to meet Catherine. And I was like, okay, who's this Catherine woman, right? Because coming from that person, I was like, she must have an eye for design, because this seller that I'm representing over here has an eye for design.
You know what? And I want to touch on that really quickly if we have time, because I through the fact that we both started doing Stella and Dot. And the reason that's so important is because when I was a stay-at-home mom and I had no idea how I was going to be able to transition to work and do something that could, I could still do all my mom responsibilities with, I decided on a whim one night, hey, I'm going to start, selling jewelry because it aligns with everything about me and my passion. And I'll be honest, in the beginning, I was met with a lot of, criticism, looking down on, I always forget what those, the MMS or whatever they're called, where you're selling something, a lot of women in particular don't look on that as a real job, and they make you feel badly about it. But I want to tell everyone that's making that choice, whether it's they're going to go full time and go crazy, or it's just a step to have a piece that's something of themselves, do it, because that one decision led me to so many new opportunities. I ended up being hired at the staging company I started working for as an assistant because she loved Stella and Dot, the owner of the business. I connected with you because of my connection through Stella and Dot. So follow your instincts. Don't let anyone else, make you feel less than for your choices, and just go for it.
Absolutely. That's such great advice. It really is. I mean, I think the MLM world, the multi-level marketing world, is really looked down upon by so many people. And I will be the first to say, I know at least 2 women that are bringing in over $20,000 a month with MLM, and they are kicking ass and taking names. So yeah, so the world is your oyster. I mean, there is no excuse. If you decide to go and sell hair products, or if you decide to go and sell, organic makeup, whatever it is, if you are passionate about it, then you are not selling that product. You are selling yourself, right? You're selling the dream of what you really believe in, right? When I am told, oh, you sell houses. No, I don't. I don't sell houses. I've never once sold a house. I help clients get from point A to Z, right? In the housing experience, right? I'm just the connector of it. And it just happens to be the house is the product. And I think that's the same with you, right? It's like we love you. That's why my clients end up hiring you. Of course, they look at your portfolio, but when they speak with you or they have you come into their home, right, and they meet you, they're falling in love with you. And they can see that you're really passionate about their home and that you're going to create their home into this beautiful product for a sale. And so really great advice, Catherine. I want to do one more plug on your business. It's Pure Luxe Staging, and you are here in the Belmont area with your warehouse, but servicing the entire Bay Area. So you are servicing clients on the peninsula, which is San Mateo County, Santa Clara County, South Bay, San Francisco, North Bay, as well as East Bay out to Walnut Creek. And is there anything else you'd like to share or leave us with today?
Oh my gosh, I just love what you were saying about, that's another great piece of advice I've been told is people are going to work with you for you. They read your energy and they want to work with you. So believe in yourself, have confidence, be authentic, and it will happen. And thank you so much, Olivia. Oh my gosh, congrats on this incredible, brave with your podcast. And I'm so honored to be a part of it today.
Thank you so much, Catherine. It's so fun. It's just the world of connecting. Like, I truly believe I'm a connector in this lifetime. And it's just being able to connect and help give back to women who are standing on the sidelines wondering, what is it like? What is it like to be a realtor? What is it like to be a stager? What is it like to be a business owner and a woman and a mom and running a household and all of these things? So the more women that I can bring on this show to share their story, the more women we're going to be able to help that are sitting out on the sidelines watching. And that's really what this is all about is, the good, the bad, the evil. We don't sugarcoat shit on the show. We just talk about the real life raw details, right? And that's the fun of it. But we're so excited for you. Congratulations on such a successful journey. And we look forward to connecting soon with some more listings coming up.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
You too. Bye.